Seraphina, why are you here?
To heal you.
The lone, ethereal female figure's feet sank into the putrid mire, each step a battle against the clinging decay. The fetid air clung to her skin, a constant reminder of the world's pain and resistance.
Your light burns. It hurts.
Sometimes healing hurts before it helps.
With each laborious step, she felt the world's agony seeping into her very bones, a toxic exchange she couldn't stop. The weight of countless failed attempts bore down on her shoulders, yet something, duty, hope, or sheer stubbornness, kept driving her forward into the suffocating desolation.
Leave me to my decay.
I can't. Not while there's still hope.
The sky writhed with sickly green clouds, flashes of lightning illuminating the barren landscape in harsh bursts. She squinted against the acrid wind, her doubts growing with each revelation of the vast desolation surrounding her.
Your efforts are futile.
Even the smallest change is worth fighting for.
Her light flickered weakly in her palm, once vibrant hope, now a fading ember. She pressed forward, each step a battle against the hostile terrain and her own mounting exhaustion. A guttural moan rose from the earth, shaking her to her core. Her words of encouragement died on her lips, feeling hollow and inadequate in the face of such overwhelming anguish.
Your presence brings more pain.
Please, let me try. I can make it better.
I'm trying to help you, she pleaded, her voice breaking. The world recoiled from her touch, its anguish intensifying until the very air vibrated with pain.
My darkness will consume you.
I won't let it. I'm stronger than that.
Tendrils of darkness reached for her, feeding off her moments of uncertainty. She pushed on, ignoring the voice in her head that whispered of futility and escape, even as doubt gnawed at her resolve.
These trees, they're in so much pain.
As am I. As are you.
Twisted trees lined her path, their gnarled branches reaching out like grasping fingers. Viscous black ooze dripped from their bark, sizzling as it hit the ground, filling the air with acrid smoke.
You're fading, just like everything else here.
You're wrong, I can't.
Her heart raced as she approached the decaying forest. The trees leaned in, whispering painful truths she wasn't ready to hear, their words a cacophony of despair that threatened to overwhelm her.
Your light is fading, little one.
I won't let it go out. I can't.
Shadows danced at the edge of her vision, taking grotesque forms that vanished when she turned to look. Paranoia and exhaustion clouded her judgment, her own mind becoming a betrayer in this hostile realm.
Give in to the chaos.
Never. There must be order somewhere.
The ground beneath her feet began to shift and undulate, mirroring her internal turmoil. She struggled to maintain her balance, both physically and emotionally, as waves of nausea and dizziness washed over her. Stumbling into a clearing, her breath caught in her throat. Grotesque sculptures of twisted flesh and bone littered the area, physical manifestations of the world's inner pain that seemed to writhe and moan.
Do you see now? The beauty in decay?
This isn't beauty. It's torment.
Eyes gleamed from the darkness, watching her every move. She clutched her dimming light closer, desperately needing its comfort as the weight of countless unseen gazes pressed down upon her.
Stay. Become one with my suffering.
I can't. I have to keep moving.
An otherworldly fog crept in, thick and suffocating. It curled around her ankles, cold and clammy, like the grip of guilt and self-doubt that threatened to root her to the spot.
Give in. It's easier.
No. I can't.
Her light pulsed erratically, each desperate flare revealing twisted, nightmarish forms that lunged and retreated in the mist. Her breath came in ragged gasps as the darkness pressed in, hungry and relentless. A shrill cry echoed through the desolate landscape, chilling her to her core. "Silence!" she screamed, her nerves frayed beyond endurance, the sound of her own voice foreign and frightening.
Your hope is poison to me.
Then let it be the medicine you need.
The world's laughter rumbled like distant thunder, a cacophonous sound that seemed to mock her efforts. The very air vibrated with its pain, masquerading as malicious mirth that set her teeth on edge.
I can climb this. I have to.
Many have tried. All have fallen.
Before her loomed a mountain, its jagged peaks tearing at the sickly sky like the teeth of some colossal beast. It stood as a monument to the seemingly insurmountable challenge that lay ahead, daring her to continue.
Listen to the wind. It speaks your truth.
No, those aren't my thoughts.
Howling wind carried whispers of despair, each gust threatening to sweep her off her feet and into the abyss. The whispers grew louder, more insistent, echoing her deepest fears and insecurities until she could barely hear her own thoughts.
Why won't you let me help you?
Perhaps it is you who needs help.
Her hands bled as she grasped at sharp outcroppings, desperately seeking purchase on the treacherous slope. Each handhold crumbled at her touch, as if the mountain itself was rejecting her efforts, determined to cast her back into the abyss.
Behold what you sought to save.
No, this can't be all there is.
At the summit, she gazed upon a nightmarish vista of decay. Forests withered before her eyes, their leaves turning to ash and blowing away on a foul wind. Oceans boiled and receded, leaving behind cracked, barren earth that seemed to bleed.
Your persistence brings only pain.
I persist because I must, because I promised.
The world's voice boomed in her mind, a cacophony of pain and accusation. Why do you persist? It growled, its tone a mixture of longing and fear of change. Her resolve wavered under the onslaught of emotions not entirely her own.
Let it die. Find peace in darkness.
I can't. I won't.
Her light dimmed further, nearly extinguished. She cupped her hands around it, desperately trying to keep it alive, as much for herself as for the world. The fading light seemed to mirror her own diminishing belief in the power of love and healing. Overwhelmed by hopelessness, she fell to her knees. The weight of her self-imposed mission crushed down upon her, suffocating in its intensity. Tears stung her eyes as she confronted the possibility that her sacrifice had been in vain.
Fall. It's easier than climbing.
I don't know if I can hold on.
The ground cracked open beneath her, a chasm of darkness threatening to swallow her whole. She scrambled to find purchase, but her own harsh words and actions had made the earth crumble beneath her, leaving her teetering on the edge of oblivion.
Embrace the void. It's where you belong.
No, I don't. Do I?
She plunged into a cavern of writhing shadows, the darkness alive and hungry. Icy tendrils of self-doubt and regret brushed against her skin, seeping into her very being. Fear gripped her heart, but it wasn't fear of the darkness itself. What terrified her was how welcoming it felt.
This is what healing me has done to you.
I can't breathe.
Panic clawed at her throat. The air thinned. Each breath was agony. Despair crashed over her in suffocating waves. The world's twisted landscape blurred, reality fracturing around her. She was drowning in an ocean of hopelessness, her light a dying ember in the void.
I don't know if I can do this anymore.
Then stop, rest, let go.
Darkness pressed in from all sides, suffocating and absolute. Her light, once her constant companion and source of strength, flickered weakly. She began to question which was truly her enemy, the darkness around her, or the light she'd clung to for so long.
See what your light reveals? Darkness is kinder.
Is this what I've been fighting for?
With a desperate cry that was equal parts defiance and surrender, she unleashed what remained of her light. It flared briefly, illuminating the cavern in a harsh, unforgiving glare. The walls pulsed with an unholy life, revealing the true extent of the world's suffering, and her own.
Stay. We can suffer together.
I can't. For both our sakes, I have to go.
Please, the world begged, its voice a mixture of need and resentment. Don't leave me like this. The plea stirred a complex mix of emotions in her: pity, resentment, and a guilty sense of relief.